Hi there, runners. Here's a short practice to support you in your transition at the end of your run into the rest of your day. More than likely, you're already warm and maybe even a little bit sweaty. And so let's just start at the back of your mat here, planting your feet down about hip width apart. Take your hands to your waist and then shift the weight over onto your left foot. Look up, fix your gaze to a single point, and when you're ready, lift your right knee up to your chest. We're going to circle your ankle around one way, and maybe your hands will come out to the sides of you, or maybe even up to the sky if you need to use them for a little support with your balance. And then we'll take your circles around the other way, starting to lengthen your exhale breaths here. It'll help you to release some of that energy you created in the run. Start to lower your heart rate. Let's flex your ankle nice and tight. Point it away as much as you can. And we'll drop your right foot down, shift the weight onto that leg. Let's bring your left leg up. Same thing other side. So just starting to circle your left ankle one way. And then we'll circle left ankle the other way. Just embracing the wobbles as you start to find a little more depth in your exhale breath. And then we'll flex as much as we can. And point toes to the ground. And then we'll drop down left foot. Switching sides again, we'll take it a little further. Right knee lifts up to your chest. Maybe you take your hands to the side or up. Use them as you need them. Figure eights with your right knee. So we're going to bring internal rotation. Cross your knee over the midline of your body and drop it down. And then turn external rotation of your thigh and open it out to the right side. So it's internal rotation and external rotation. And just using your hands for balance as you need to. And around we go. You might even reverse the direction at some point. And try to stay with your breath. Don't worry if you fall over. It's normal in life to find wobbles, as in the balance pose. And let's take our last one here. Full figure eight. And then dropping your right foot down. Switch sides. Starting your figure eight, so internal rotation and external rotation of your thigh. Remembering the power of a long breath out to help you find steadiness. Not only in your physical body, but also in your mind. And we'll take around 3 more cycles of breath here. Feel free to reverse the direction if you haven't already. 2 more. And last one. Both feet down to the ground. Take a big breath in, take your hands up above your head, lift up through your rib cage. Lengthen your gaze up to the sky. As you exhale, fold forward. You can soften your knees into a bend. We'll halfway lift and lengthen out your spine. Think of a flat back here, collarbones wide. Let's find a tabletop, hands and knees. So walking your hands to the top edge of your mat. Drop your knees down. Cat-cow. We'll inhale to lift your tailbone. Drop your rib cage. Open your chest as you look up. Exhale, tuck your tailbone under, let that wave ripple along the length of your spine, chin to chest. We inhale, cow. We exhale, angry cat, tucking under, close your ribs to your hips and breathe out till there's no air left. One more round, we'll inhale for cow, collarbones wide. We'll exhale, angry cat. Find a neutral position. Walk your hands just one hand length in front of your shoulders, and then press your hips up and back for a downward dog. Your heels high, and you've got a bit of a bend in your knees. As you connect through your hands, particularly your index finger knuckles, you'll feel your hands gripping the mat, pressing down through each knuckle and fingertip. And now let's press more through your right heel. It might reach the earth, it might not. Calf stretch. Squeeze your right thigh and see if you can lift a little from the space below your navel, as if you're wearing an airplane seatbelt and trying to draw your belly back away from that fabric of the seatbelt, low and tight on your hips. Take your last breath in and exhale, lifting through the low belly. Switch sides. So inhale your right heel up. Exhale, left heel drops. It doesn't have to touch the floor, folks. Take a breath in. As you exhale, squeeze your left thigh and lift through your low belly. 3 more cycles of breath. 2 more here. Last one. Inhale, both heels up high, high, high. As you exhale, roll forward and drop your knees down to your mat. Well, then pop up onto your fingertips and give yourself some space here as you step your right foot in between your hands. Some of us, this is a tricky move and you might use your right hand to pull and drag your foot through. We're then framing up your right foot with both hands. Some of us might take a block or 2 here just to create a little bit more space between you and the floor. You're trying to keep your right rib cage pressing down upon your thigh and really sinking your hips as far forward and as far down as you can. Untuck your back toes, press the top of your back foot into the floor, and see if we can get a nice opening here through the front of your left hip. Take another breath in, open your chest. As you breathe out, press through your back foot down into the ground. Okay, coming off your fingertips, we'll place both hands on your front thigh. Create lots of space between your body and your leg, and then take a hand or 2 up to the sky. We're going to retuck those back toes under, start to press into them. And just for stability, we'll feel as if you're squeezing your right heel backwards and your left leg forward, almost as if you're trying to close your legs. Now take your right hand around your left wrist, pull up, and sway over to the right side. Again, we're aiming to get into the front of this left hip here. Psoas and iliacus muscles. They cross from your inner thigh up through your pelvis. Iliacus ends at the back of your hips, and psoas continues its way up, joining into your 5 lumbar vertebrae, also into your lower 3 ribs and up into your diaphragm. So releasing through your hip flexors, which are so tight often with running, will help you to find steadiness in breath and calmness in your body. Take your last breath in. Breathe out, get heavy. Hands up to the sky, take a breath in. Now we're slow on the way down. Maybe you're taking your blocks again or all the way to the floor. Shift your weight back, right toes high to the sky. Ideally, we're going to focus here on a flat back as priority number 1. And then we're working to straighten out your right leg to your degree, keeping a connection to your right thigh muscles so that your body's understanding that it's safe to open the back of your right leg. Now you might want to take this a little bit further. For those who want to go further, we're going to be pressing down into your hands, whether they're on blocks or the floor, and slide your back leg back. So we're starting to feel an opening through your left hip as well as your right leg. If this feels breathable, you're steady, you're calm, take a breath in. As you exhale, lift your back knee off the floor, drive your back heel backwards in space. We inhale, we lower. Let's do a couple more of those. Exhale, reach and stretch. We inhale, lower. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lower. As you exhale, rock that weight onto your right foot, whole foot on the ground. Now take a breath in, turn to the left, pad your hands around until you're facing that long edge of your mat. You're on both feet. And turn your toes in so you're slightly pigeon-toed here. Hands under shoulders, we'll draw your breath in, come up only halfway. Exhale and fold, take a bow, drop your head. Inhale, lift only halfway. Let's do that again. Take a bow, walk your hands backwards. Inhale, lift only halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift halfway only. We're coming into Skandasana, to the back of your mat. We turn your left toes out and we sink that weight onto your left foot. Some of you might find that you need to pop your left heel up off the mat. No problems with that, but we keep your left thigh bone pointing in the same direction as your left toes for safety of your knee. Take a look at your right foot now. Rotate your toes up to the sky and you sink down to your degree. You might be using your hands for a little support. If you're feeling balanced and steady, perhaps even bring your hands to your heart. Thumbs to chest, chest rising up into thumbs. 3 more cycles of breath wherever you are. 2 more. Last one. Hands to the floor, please. Let's switch sides. So your right toes point out at about 45 degrees. You might need to pop your right heel up or maybe not. Thigh bone pointing in the same direction as your toes, and then take a glance over to your left foot and rotate those toes high to the sky. If you're steady here, maybe you take weight off your hands. Bring them together at your heart. Chest rising to thumbs, shoulder blades low. 3, 2, and 1. Hands to the floor. Let's breathe our way into the center. Then turn to the right side. Drop your back knee down, but this time place it right into the center of your mat. Now we're going to wiggle our way into shoelace here. So your right leg, wiggle your foot over to the left side of your mat, and then point your toes backwards and cross your thighs as tight as you can. We'll then create some space between your heels, booty to the floor. Some of you who have tight knees, you might even take a block and just place it underneath both of your sits bones here. It gives you a little more space. If this feels really strong, you can lessen the intensity by lowering your bottom leg and straightening it out. You can either sit up tall or come with me for a couple of twists. We're inhaling, lengthening through the crown. As you exhale, turn to the right, right hand behind your back, left hand presses outside right knee. Take a breath in, grow a little taller. As you exhale, twist, maybe look back. Come back to center, take a breath in. And now we'll all tuck under your bottom leg again, coming back into that shoelace shape. Hands go forward. We pick your booty up off the block or the floor. And can you come up onto your toes here? It's sort of like downward dog, but with your legs crisscrossed. Walk your hands over to the left, the long edge of your mat. Keep your feet on the floor and then keep turning to the left until you're facing the back edge of your mat. Keep turning to the left. Your legs are going to start to cross again. You're pivoting all the way around till once more you're facing the top edge of your mat in that cross-legged, short downward dog. Then we'll drop your knees to the floor. So now we're in shoelace on that second side. Point your toes away, create some space between your heels, and maybe you're sitting on a block again, or maybe directly to the floor. Remember, you can always drop your bottom leg, lengthen it out. Inhale, lengthen through the crown. As you exhale, twist to the left side, left hand behind your back, right hand to left knee. Grow a little taller. As you exhale, look back. Inhale back to center. Your bottom leg is bent. We're going to cross it under you again. Okay, so let's come forward onto your hands. You're stepping your left foot to the top edge of your mat at about a 45-degree angle. Press into it and take your right leg out for a wide forward fold, rotating both of your feet inwards, so we're pigeon-toed. A different variation for us here will walk your hands further away from you. Find a little traction of your fingertips gripping the floor. Pull back on your hips and drop your head. Full decompression for your spine. 3, press into your toes. 2, 1. Inhale, hands under shoulders, lift halfway. As you exhale, turn to the top of your mat. Your left foot points forward, your right knee touches down. We're going to stay low here, and again, friends, feel free to use any props that support you to find that sustainable edge in your practice. Here, we're trying to sink the hips as far forward and down as you can. Maybe hands are on the floor, maybe we're using blocks and your spine is flat. Feel free to untuck your back toes here. Press the top of your foot down into the floor. Let it find space through the front of your right hip. We'll take our last breath in. Exhale till you're empty. Hands to front thigh. Press your leg away. Lots of space between your body and your leg. And then we'll take one hand up to the sky. Second hand will shortly follow. Tuck your back toes under again and press them into the floor. Left hand to right wrist. We inhale to pull up as we bind. We exhale, sway over to the left side. 3, 2, 1. Inhale to center, maybe look up. We come down slow, hands to the floor. Shift your weight back and send your left toes high to the sky. Maybe we're using the blocks again. Straight spine, priority number 1. Straight leg, priority number 2. Feel free to wiggle your back knee a little bit further back if you like. Move back out of the place where your breath is not steady and go back into that space where you're leaning up against that edge of sustainable breath. Some of you might come a little further with me. Ensure your back toes are tucked under. We're going to take a breath in. And then we'll exhale, press through your back heel, lift your back knee off the mat. We inhale, we lower. We exhale, press. We inhale, lower. Exhale, press away. We inhale, lower. 2 more. Exhale, nice big press. We inhale, we lower. Exhale, press. Inhale, lower. As you exhale, bring your left hand inside of your front leg. Slide your left foot back to a tabletop. And then walk your hands 1 hand length ahead of your shoulders. With your toes tucked under, come into downward dog. Take some time here just to feel the space that you've created. As a previous ultra distance runner, I know firsthand just how much wear and tear running has on your body, and I also understand the joy, the elation of the runner's high. Let's walk your hands back towards your feet. Your heels stay flat on the floor. Feel free to bend your knees if you need to, as you take hands around opposite elbows and just dangle here. Do your best to drop your head. Take your last big breath in. And release your hands as you exhale. Bend your knees. We slowly roll up to stand. Take a couple of breaths to arrive, and you might want to wriggle into some sensation along the way. At the top, take a shoulder roll or 2 or 3. And I hope this helps all of you to continue running for the rest of your days. Thank you for practicing with me. My name is Claire. Namaste.